morning, everyone, and happy Saturday. My name is Callie, and this is another weekend of clarinets, cats, and coffee. In today's video, I am going to talk about articulation, specifically the one major thing that holds most people back from speeding up their articulation. Now, the study that I just played for you is from the Closet method. It's one of the duets. I have just taken a small part of this duet and turned it into just a study for my purposes here today. And I chose this because I want to talk about response. Response is the biggest reason why people can't seem to get their tonguing to go faster. We get so hung up on the actual act of the tongue motion itself, using the tip of the tongue to the tip of the reed, use very little of the tongue, stuff like that, that we overlook the air support component of producing a good sound and producing good, clean articulation. Now, before you jump in and you start working on air support and you start over-analyzing the response of your reed, just do a couple of things for me. One, make sure that you're using a good reed, a reed that's not too old. Old reeds tend to lose the quality of sound in their articulation over time. Two, do a mouthpiece check. Make sure that the mouthpiece itself, any part of the mouthpiece that makes contact with the reed, make sure it's not dented, gouged, scratched, dinged up. If it is, you either need a new mouthpiece or you need to talk to a mouthpiece craftsperson to get them to reface it. Then do a check on your clarinet. Make sure that it's not leaking. A very basic way for just you to check that is to plug up the holes and check each joint individually doing the suction test. So that'll tell you if you have any leaks in your pads. If you suspect a leak, but you're not, you're getting good suction, you'll have to go to your hair technician because they have technology that can, they have special ways of checking for leaks that just a really basic suction test will not find. So make sure your clarinet itself is not leaking, which leads me to the last point. If you have a wooden clarinet, inspect it for cracks. Cracks can also make the response of your instrument not so great either, okay? So everything should be sealing, the mouthpiece should be in good condition, the reed should be in good condition, and there should be no cracks in the clarinet. So assuming all of the equipment is in good working order, we're gonna talk about response now. Now, getting a good response from your reed is mostly due to how we use our air. When we're tonguing, the air support should be no different than when we are playing sustained tones. So there's a really basic study that you can do to kind of take a look and see what you might be doing differently when you're tonguing, and that is to practice sustaining, then tonguing, sustaining, tonguing. So you got to make sure that nothing is changing between the sustained notes and the tongue notes. A lot of us, when we start flapping our tongues, we compromise our air. It's like we start pumping the brakes a little bit on the accelerator, and that kind of wacky air is going to have a huge impact on the response of our reed. So if you struggle with air support, aside from tonguing, or you don't know what air support is, stay tuned because next week my video topic is all about air support, what it is, and how to improve it. Now, once you've got this whole concept of tonguing down, keeping consistency between sustained notes and articulated notes, I would recommend practicing some different articulation etudes based on whatever level you're at. So I just recently released my very first articulation book. I'm going to put a link below. It's 100% digital. There are clickable links to take you to YouTube videos that accompany all of the etudes in the book. It's an early, intermediate, progressive study book. So the first ones are pretty easy. The last ones are a little bit more challenging. I'm working on another one that's like level 2, which will come out later this year or next year. It will include the study that I played for you today, but the one that I played for you today is at this point only available to patrons and channel members. I love this particular study because it focuses on the Clarion Register, which is a really great way for us to see how good our air support actually is. Clarion Register notes will simply not come out and they won't sound good if air support is bad. We've all been there where we're tonguing up high and we get that little grunt or a little squawk or even sometimes a chirp or a squeak whenever we're tonguing up high. And sometimes we focus so much on the tongue itself, we don't think about the air. So this is such a great one for it. That being said, I'm going to let you guys work on this, and I am going to get to work on making next week's video on air support. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, a good week next week, and as always, happy practicing.